brother. You cannot necessarily get bother. Cause we started a rather auspicious storm. What is he doing? What is he doing? Turn. Simple egg. This stuff.
Verdien je met wat je niet meer nodig hebt. Maak een foto, upload hem en verkoop zonder verkoopkosten. En maak het weer als nieuw. Draag je het niet? Verkoop het dan. Download Vinted.
Game face.
Men only want one thing, and it's not money, it's not power, it's not love.
Idiots.
We listen and we don't judge. The other day I took off my glasses so my husband could. Mommy, you're on TikTok.
That's different.
Dogs know English. Dogs know the language in which you speak to them. You go to Mexico, they speak Spanish.
Oh, really? What's a Mexican dog sound like?
Hey, bark, bark. What do they sound like?
Chinese.
Help! Help!
That's not funny, huh?
I'm your dad. I'm your son. Okay. Hey, Dad. Bobby. No, no.
Bobby.
Do it. Sorry, just do it like that. I don't know. Like, you don't have to have an Asian accent. I don't know.
Bobby.
California is taking an unusual approach to catch pirates red-handed. Porch pirates, yes. Pardon me.
What's a good morning? What's going on outside?
No, fam.
Because I eat a lot.
Impressive.
This is my pizza, this is my burger,
Who's he?
and this is my chicken. East or west, food is the best. No, I eat.
Imagine thinking that a man is gonna make you.
East, west, food is the best.
Ain't gonna be funny for long. You get older, all them jokes are gonna be coming. They ain't gonna be
He
funny
was
then.
dreamed about this his whole life. Fabrica, the Olympics. Oh,
What is that, Mama?
Oh my god.
I am president.
I don't have any.
Me.
What? Excuse me. I just want to say that you three are beautiful, so you guys get to share this flower. I know.
I ain't hear what they said.
Cheers.
What's up, gamer? Gamer.
If you Snapchat a picture of your thing to your boy, and he screenshots it, who's gay?
Sir, for the love of God, please stop coming. Drive through. Hello?
No.
Be careful,
Congrats on anything.
That's why I love my job, because I don't know why these dumbass people think that we ain't never gonna catch their ass. You feel me? You feel me? So dumbass.
Shit.
Can you get?
Can you fuck it? Can you?
handelt es sich genau
Can you
um den
fuck it?
Helikopter. Es ist ein
Can you fuck it?
Black Hawk, Entschuldigung, und 3 Piloten oder 3...
Yeah, can you make a noise contest number 3 that you think represents how you would make a noise when you got spanked? Go ahead.
sure.
And do contestant number 1 now, since we're doing this new bit.
What's up, Russian?
Women can use emotions. They can use emotions to basically like manipulate you in some way.
You need to stop worrying about all this relationship stuff, dude, and get back to the funeral home. They were looking everywhere for you.
It was an accident.
That's what.
No accident. Yes or no?
This is day one without. This is day two without. Alright. This is day one without. Okay. This is day one.
Dude,
This is day one.
you keep pushing back. Still day one. Still day one.
Hello, welcome in. What's your name?
My name is Uche.
Uche, how old are you?
My name is Suchi. My name is Suchi.
Nitrates are in position to begin searching the slums. Please room it underwater.
Morning, sir.
Careful. Some dangerous folk around here.
Don't be gone. What?
Do not come.
I'm gonna come. Jeff Bezos can, Bill Gates can, Mark Zuckerberg can.
They all came. They all came.
When I was 8, I was by my friend's dad. Oh, was that funny? Tom fell off a roof in college and now he can't speak, but clearly he can still laugh.
The only
That's
thing
funny.
other than the concrete I found was your well-being.
So smooth.
Okay, this horse needs to be stopped. you be shitting too much, man.
Hey, my boy, 2 girls in one day. I see you,
like you.
He's a villain. Oh.
Anyways, if you want to start a business on a budget, make sure you go to the source factory.
Do you ever disassociate blanket?
Zijn levende dieren, dus je gaat niet schreeuwen.
I'll take that. I'll take that as a no.
Jesus condom. That's crazy. Somebody with the name. No. This guy, Batman being Superman. Okay, let's go. Mayor Dicky Head. P. Ennis.
What if the United States, Mexico, and Canada became one country and went to war? They might call themselves the United Nations of Come, and overnight, they become the most powerful nation on Earth.
Helicopter.
Very important thing to know. Here in Gaza, we use Linux because we don't have Windows or walls.
Yo, man, gamer, I see you. Yeah, I know you're Russian. Hey, shout out to you, Russian friend, and I hope you're doing well, man.
So I did a procedure. I've been saving my money, and I changed something about myself that I've really been insecure about.
Dude, you don't need to be changing stuff. What you changed?
My nose.
Let me see.
That's fucked up.
She knows it's fake. It's funny though.
That's how black people are. They will roast you right there, right now. No, oh, then nah, man. I speak English, buddy. Buddy.
That's funny.
You baby. More Russian people in the chat. Okay, talk to each other, man.
I really don't know what's gotten into me
shit.
recently.
Big.
Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hog, dog, chicken, turkey, rat.
No matter what their cost, 2, 10, 12, 15, Pope stepping on them. It's black, anyway.
Do you know that chameleons don't change color just to hide? They actually speak a colorful language all their own. When a chameleon changes to this color, it probably means it is ready to... No. Thanks for watching. This challenge was made with the help of members of my Discord.
Try not to laugh savage. I almost broke on the day one.
Some of them I already seen. Yeah, that was funny. But I seen it, so yeah, that's funny. If you seen it before, it becomes so normal. Just 5 to 75 answer what celebrity do what celebrity do you look like? What celebrity do I look like? I heard people saying 50 Cent. It's a disrespect comparing me to 50 Cent. At the same time, other people will be like, nah, nah, that's actually it's a compliment. I'm like, nah, fuck no. 50 Cent? But I cannot understand shit what you're saying, man. So continue having a conversation with each other, bro. I cannot understand shit what you're saying. And me, then it's all good. But yeah, whatever you say, nah, tweets. No, no, no. He's man poses date to kill us. Camera.
2023, Eric Aguirre took a woman on a date to a Texas burger joint in Houston. After parking his car in an area near Lamar Street, they were approached by Elliot Nix, posing as a parking attendant, asking for $40. Eric retrieved cash from a nearby store and paid Elliot. However, later, a waiter at the restaurant informed Eric that he had actually been scammed by a fake parking attendant. Eric then retrieved a gun from his car and shot Elliot dead. He returned to the restaurant and resumed his date as if nothing had happened. He told his date that everything was fine and they continued their meal. 2 days later, the woman taken out on the date contacted police after the media released photos of the couple. She had no idea her date had killed a man in the middle of their meal. Eric was subsequently arrested and charged with murder on April 27, 2023. It was also discovered that he had previously been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon back in 2017. In April of
GG's.
2023,
Man's
Eric
going away for
Aguirre took a
life.
woman on a date to a Texas burger joint in Houston. After parking his car in an area near Lamar Street, they were approached by Elliot.
Man's going away for life with that shit. That's crazy.
These are moments where drivers got their revenge because at number one, she ran for her life.
Excuse me, is this your car? Okay. Get out my car.
At number two, this TikToker always jumped into the window, but this guy was not having it.
That TikTok guy was up.
And at number three, this motorcyclist got cut off and teaches the driver a lesson. These are moments where drivers got their revenge because at number one,
Podpishish na menya pozat luciasta. Whatever you say. Bro, I'm trying, but I don't understand it. Gonna woo. Shit. And there we go. Me.
What's the only thing that should remain after cooking? Pure taste. With a Siemens cooktop with integrated ventilation that takes care of your food and of the air around. Siemens Home Appliances.
Zo, jij hebt ook gewoon vakantie.
And a GB News exclusive, the full extent of Britain's grooming gangs has been uncovered.
Our reporter Charlie.
Good morning, Eamon. Well, in January, the Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, said that the government would launch a 3-month rapid audit led by Baroness Louise Casey to assess the extent of this country's grooming gangs scandal. Well, GB News has teamed up with some grassroots researchers from Crime Spotlight UK, and we have done our own research. We've compiled our own dossier, and here it is. The map of the United Kingdom with this grooming gangs scandal. You show that this is truly a national scandal. Indeed, the map's so large we can't even fit in Plymouth in the bottom, where we have found over 50 different towns and cities with some 500 convictions for this sort of abuse, starting from 2007 and moving up until last year. And if you see the intensity of most of these convictions and most activity is happening in the north and northwest, with Birmingham, London, Oxfordshire and the West Midlands also coming through. Now, if we move further up into the north of England, you see that absolute intensity of this crisis here, with some suspected gang activity moving into the edges of West Yorkshire, and a particular focus around Batley, around Dewsbury and Bradford, and also into Huddersfield. And then there's Rotherham on our next slide there, one of the areas for this form of abuse. If you move on, you can show you what this website will show per local authority and area. Just 65 in Rotherham, where since 1997 we know that there have been at least 1,510 victims and survivors identified. The vast majority of those will not have achieved justice. And if Rotherham has 65 and the nation has over 500, that's tens of thousands of survivors still waiting for justice. And we've also compiled a network diagram. This analysis extent of the trafficking crisis when we look at this form of abuse. And you can show that these are not isolated towns and cities dealing with this crisis, but these are interlinked, organised criminal gangs engaging in some of the most heinous abuse. You can see those links stretch nationwide. Some of these accounts have been gathered from government reports, they've been heard in courtrooms, or they've been given by police reports. But many of them have been given directly to GB News in exclusive interviews with survivors, sharing their experiences of trafficking. And then here it is in the north, the sheer intensity of these networks, how they interlink. And there's only just a couple of towns where they've actually had reports in this area, in Rochdale here, but also in Rotherham. You see how these are absolute centres of trafficking for the rest of the north of England. In some cases, we've also seen significant activity of men travelling to abuse or moving children around from the north straight into London. In one case, one survivor being trafficked from Bristol up to Rotherham. And you see those links go right across the northwest. But again, just a handful of these locations has actually had inquiries. So it is an extensive report, Eamon and Ellie. It does show how widespread this crisis is. And it just goes to show that against all of those demands for a full national statutory inquiry, there is so much evidence here of widespread links between abuse gangs, of this being a truly national scandal. And we can also reveal this morning that there are no evidence of any deportations for any grooming gang abusers since 2011, well over a decade since, as far as our records and archives can show, the last abuser was deported. This is a truly national scandal. It continues to rumble on with the controversy around the Minister Lucy Powell last week, and it just goes to show that ahead of Baroness Louise Casey's rapid audit returning, the GB News can show that just how extensive and how heinous this national scandal truly is.
Truly is heinous. Thank you so much, Charlie, for all your hard work on that.
Charlie, can I ask you a question? You may not know the answer to this, But for how many years, during what you have been talking about there, for how many years was Keir Starmer the Director of Public Prosecutions? It must have covered some time in charge.
I think about 5 years, and he often says that he was part of the first grooming gang prosecution, that as DPP he led that successful prosecution. But our first prosecution we have here is from 2007. He's never said specifically which case that is, so we're not sure about that. But there is a clear overlap between the Prime Minister's time as DPP and also the many of the convictions that are going on here. Many survivors and those within the law say that during his period as DPP, he did change the rules. The CPS updated its guidance to improve how these prosecutions take place. We've heard many accounts of through with prosecutions, even after quite direct testimony, who still feel as though they're being let down, not just those in charge of prosecutions.
Charlie, thank you very much indeed. So this is the point. This is the fear here. People hypothesise about why would Labour, why would the government not want a national investigation? And part of the theory that comes up is, well, because your boss was in charge of prosecutions then, and maybe he won't want all that coming out or being regurgitated or talked about or whatever. Your theory is very welcome. Let us know.
Using the internet without a VPN, a virtual private network, is a bit like taking to the road without car insurance. All it takes is one unlucky moment to cost you a lot of cash. This video's sponsor is Private Internet Access. They are the VPN to help keep you safe. Click the link in the description below to find out why over 30 million people have downloaded PIA to protect themselves.
30 million.
A virtual private network is an app that hides your IP address and helps keep your data private.
Helps keep my data private.
Businesses, to shops, and indeed to social media giants too. Hackers have the ability to steal your personal data with ease, including sensitive information such as passwords, keystrokes, and even your personal photos. Private Internet Access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection to keep your data out of the hands of cyber criminals. And it's not just hackers either to be concerned about. Information can be censored too. When Canada passed their C18 bill, social media giants decided to ban news content on their platforms. But PIA can protect your ability to consume the news and content you love. Private Internet Access is available for Windows users, Mac OS, Android, Linux, iOS, and you can use one PIA subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices. And we've got a huge GB News discount for you too. Click the link in this video's...
Beware of it.
you'll get a massive 83% off PIA. That's under £2 a month, the price of a coffee, and you'll get an extra 4 months completely free on top. Also, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too.
Is it
Visit
good coffee? Or is it bad coffee?
PIAVPN.com/GB
Nah,
News
that's one.
to start protecting yourself digitally.
Welcome back. It's 6:46. Let's go straight to the Health Secretary now, shall we? Where modernising GP surgery this morning. We'll chat about that in just a moment, but I just want in her post, despite those comments, and just a reminder, people aren't across it, she was asked if she'd watched that documentary on Channel 4 about rape gangs, and these are her comments. She said, "Oh, we want to blow that..."
No.
Interview. That kind of attitude this country to go undefended and unprotected for decades. It's that kind of attitude that allows those rape gangs to still exist today. Now, you have said that she's a human, that she makes mistakes, but victims have told us here at GB not accept her apology. So if victims don't accept her apology, why is it good enough for you? Why is it good enough for the government?
Well, look, firstly, the comments that Lucy made were indefensible, and she's not defending those comments. She apologised over the weekend for what she said on a debate programme on Radio 4. But I have seen what victims and victims groups have said since, and I'm really sorry that people have been hurt by what's been said. I know that she is mortified. She deeply regrets what she said, and to the heart of the issue, to the substance of the issue. I mean, you are right that, as reports by and others show, there has been a real problem in this area where political correctness meant that lots of victims, especially white working class girls, went unsupported, went without justice, and where these absolutely vile crimes unaddressed for far too long. And it's one of the reasons why, as a government, we've asked every police force in England and Wales to go back to all of those historic cases where no further action was taken, to just look again at whether that was the right course of action and whether there is more that can be done to bring perpetrators to justice. And it's why, with some of the mechanisms that are in place for victims to go for independent views on their cases to an independent panel, there was a time limit on that previously. We've got rid of that so that all victims have access to that, and there's much more to do. Louise Case is currently doing an audit of all of the actions. We'll be receiving that shortly and reporting on next steps.
Napoleon, lekker lang genieten. Nu in jouw winkel. Napoleon.
Weer eentje te veel gekocht? Verkoop het zonder verkoopkosten. Download Vinted.
Right now we're just racing through town following this group of volunteer paramedics on that motorbike.
Ya no aguanto cuando te brazo, si te lo quito te vas a sangrar. El muchacho tiene una hemorragia y pues es considerablemente mortal. Aquí detén abajo.
This area is very heavily populated by cartel members, and right now this guy is losing a lot of blood, so it's a bit of a race against time.
Esto es riesgoso para nosotros porque la ambulancia ya tardó mucho y nosotros nos estamos exponiendo aquí.
Violence erupts almost every night here in Sinaloa, Mexico, the heartland of one of the most powerful criminal gangs in the world, the Sinaloa cartel. Once led by the notorious drug lord El Chapo, this cartel is responsible for selling huge quantities of drugs to US consumers.
The cartels are waging war on America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing.
President Donald Trump is pressuring Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum to crack down on the cartels, threatening tariffs and even military strikes. In response, hundreds of soldiers have already been added to the troops here in Sinaloa. We've come here to understand what that looks like. From hidden drug labs and defiant cartel members to grieving the front line.
We're with the Mexican military right now, flying over the state of Sinaloa, over this massive expanse of rural land, looking for any signs of cartel activity.
There's more cannabis than I've ever seen in my life. The scale of drugs here is just enormous. I mean, this is a whole field of marijuana here. These guys are going to be camped up here for the next few days, just trying to destroy field upon field of cannabis, of poppies.
So is this area safe?
Yes, secured area. We need to make aerial reconnaissance and then vehicle and then on foot. And here is the poppy field.
Oh, wow.
So they slice the poppy to get the opium, and they start the process to get heroin.
So how much heroin does a field like this produce?
2 kilos.
2 kilos.
The soldiers burn the poppies and marijuana. But it's synthetic drugs that are responsible for most of the 87,000 Americans who've died of overdoses in the space of a year. These drugs, like fentanyl and meth, can be produced in much bigger quantities, generate enormous profits, and are easier to hide.
Los criminales construyen estas áreas de trabajo en lugares lo más inaccesible para que la autoridad no lo descubra.
I can smell it from here. It's very strong.
Sí. Bueno, vemos acá, esta es un área de concentración, aquí tienen los productos químicos. Vienen, trabajan 2-3 horas, producen 50, 20, 50 kilos, 100 kilos de metanfetamina, terminan y se van y se llevan la producción. Este laboratorio ya no va a ser buscado a otro lado, lo que hay aquí se va a destruir ahora mismo.
In the first 6 months of Sheinbaum's presidency, thousands of suspected cartel members have been arrested, and more than 140 tons of drugs have been seized. But the reality is, more than 1,200 people have also been killed in Sinaloa in the past year. Hundreds more have disappeared. An uncomfortable fact for the Mexican military. In downtown Culiacan, the capital of Sinaloa, the military's narrative that they are fully in control begins to unravel.
The rates of violence are still extremely high here. Since September, when this war between two factions of the Sinaloa cartel exploded, people have been dying on a daily basis. Very stark reminders here of people who are missing, who've been disappeared as part of this cartel war between the two factions that's playing out right now. All very recent cases. This was last week, 23-year-old went missing.
Those you cannot say if they are real.
What do you mean?
Those fires are old.
No, this is post the date here. This is 22nd of March, they went missing, right?
Sí, pero, o sea, esto es una copia. It's a copy. Who put this? We don't know.
As we're talking, a soldier blocks our camera.
You mean it's not verified? Yeah. Presumably people aren't just putting up posters for the fun of it. They're putting them up because they're missing family members, right?
I don't know.
What's up? You don't want us filming it?
The military steer us off and invite us to film something else. But we call the number on the poster of the missing woman. Her name is Vivian Esporo. Her family tell us she disappeared 17 days ago. We promised to follow up on her story. But who are the men running this criminal network, wreaking havoc on people living here? We part ways with the military.
You, Amanda.
The city that is still very dangerous. After weeks of trying our contact here on the ground, has managed to secure a meeting with a member
How you
of
doing,
the cartel
Amanda?
who's involved apparently in the production of drugs. And so we're meeting him now in somewhere around here in an undisclosed location. ¿Cómo estás?
This man is talking to us on the condition we hide his identity and location.
Can I pull up a chair?
He says he produces fentanyl for the Sinaloa cartel.
How safe or dangerous is this area to be in?
En estos momentos todas las áreas son peligrosas.
The Mexican military are making a big effort to crack down on the drug production here. How are you responding to that, and how does that impact your work?
Están haciendo un buen trabajo, pero pues como ellos vienen más, pues uno tiene que buscar la forma de seguir trabajando, claro, en baja escala, pero no igual como antes, pero se sigue haciendo.
I mean, according to the Trump administration, you are a terrorist. I mean, the cartels have been labeled a foreign terrorist organization. What do you make of that?
Está fea la situación, ¿verdad? Está fea la situación, pero pues, de todos modos tenemos
yeah, thank you for watching my stream before. How are you doing? Answer my questions.
Según él, buscar lo mejor para los suyos. Pero el detalle que ya están los consumidores, ¿no? Si no hubiera consumidores, pues uno le parará.
There is a lot of violence playing out on these streets here at the moment every day, right? I mean, people are dying on a daily basis. Children are afraid to go to school. Do you have any sense of remorse over your role and your involvement in this group?
Claro que sí. Claro que sí. Claro que sí. Pues está triste la cosa, pero pues está triste la cosa, pero
Ter ere van 80 jaar vrijheid is er nu een gratis herdenkingsuitgifte. Dit zwaar verzilverde verzamelstuk.
His phone is pinging. Someone is nearby. He tells us we need to leave for our own safety. It's because of the actions of cartel members like these that civilians too are caught up in this violence. Vivian Aspuro, the missing woman from the poster, was one of them. Her body has just been found. Are you able to tell me a little bit about your sister?
Fue una niña feliz, tuvo todo lo que siempre quiso, fue muy amada. Le gustan mucho los gatos, Harry Styles. Íbamos a ir a su
I mean, there has been, there's massive escalation in violence here over the last few months with this conflict taking place. Do you feel like your sister's death is related to that?
Sí, sí, creo que no creo que ella no se metió con ninguna persona peligrosa, pero la violencia que pie a que esto pasara porque pues antes había códigos y se respetaban a las mujeres y a los niños.
I mean, the authorities are saying that they're going after the bad guys, they're making a lot of arrests, they're going after the drugs, they're going after the weapons. Do you feel like they're not doing enough?
No están haciendo nada. Culiacán se ha vuelto un lugar vivir.
Thank you for talking with us. You're being so strong. She'd be so proud of you.
Muchas gracias, en serio.
Thank you.
Gracias a ustedes por darle visibilidad a mi hermana.
For Vivian's family, the authorities' efforts amount to nothing more than anguish.
Messed up.
Mr. President, distinguished members of the court, it's a great honor and privilege to appear before you again and represent the plurinational state of Bolivia. As the court held in its 2024 advisory opinion, Israel's presence in the Palestinian Gaza Strip and West Bank, including East Jerusalem, is, in and of itself, illegal. It's a violation of the legal right of self-determination of the Palestinian people. It's conducted for the unlawful purpose of purported annexation. It must, in the words of the court, end as rapidly as possible. These findings presuppose that Israel has no valid legal basis to maintain the presence. Had there been a valid legal basis, the court would not have called for the presence to end. The court characterized the presence as a use of force, the legality of which determined by the law on the use of force. Since using force without a valid legal basis is a breach of the jus ad bellum, the implication of the court's finding that the presence should end is that the presence is an unlawful use of force, an aggression. Only the state of Palestine and the Palestinian people have the legal right to exercise authority in the Gaza Strip and West Bank, including East Jerusalem. In consequence, only they have the legal right to decide who can enter and be present there, and which activities those present can engage in. Conversely, as its presence is illegal, Israel necessarily lacks a valid entitlement to do anything there. Insofar, then, as the presence continues, every activity performed is itself illegal, as an integral part of an illegal presence. In consequence, Israel has no legal right to take any action in the OPT restricting the entry, presence, and activities of other actors. Any such action, on whatever basis, is therefore illegal. That said, in particular circumstances, the rules regulating the conduct of the Israeli presence, including occupation law, don't prevent and even permit and require certain restrictions on the entry, presence, and activities of other actors. Given this, it might be suggested that international law creates a paradoxical, perverse situation. On the one hand, as the court determined, the presence is unlawful and should therefore end as rapidly as possible. On the other hand, because Israel defies the court and continues its illegal presence, obligations are then triggered, permitting it to decide on the presence of other actors, and do so against the wishes of the only legal persons entitled to do this. This suggestion would be to misunderstand the relative significance of the two areas of law. As the court held, the legal rules governing the conduct of the presence apply even though the presence is illegal. However, because of that illegality, all Israel's actions performed as part of the presence will be illegal on this basis, including actions compliant with and pursuant to the rules regulating conduct. Thus, ultimately, restrictions that are lawful according to the rules regulating conduct remain unlawful according to the law of self-determination and the jus ad bellum, since they're performed as part of a presence that is, as a general, unqualified matter, illegal. On this basis, then, Israeli restrictions in the OPT on the entry, presence, and activities of other actors are breaches of Israel's obligations owed to the Palestinian people and the state of Palestine. Moreover, such restrictions are also violations of other obligations Israel owes to states. Many states are present in the OPT on a profoundly different basis than Israel, conducting diplomatic relations with the State of Palestine and other Palestinian entities. These and other states also provide material assistance to the Palestinian people there, directly and by supporting provision by others, notably UNRWA. As the court held, because of the fundamental nature of the Palestinian right of self-determination violated by Israel in maintaining its presence in the OPT, all states bear a special legal duty to bring the violation to an end. States discharge this duty through activities seeking to mitigate the violation. Conducting diplomatic relations with Palestinian counterparts in the OPT repudiates Israel's unlawful claim to sovereignty and implicitly or expressly recognizes Palestinian sovereignty. Providing assistance reduces the dependency of the Palestinian people on the state, perpetuating its subjugation of them through its presence. Israeli restrictions conducted in the OPT to the entry, presence and activities of states breach Israel's obligation of non-interference in the freedom of action of these states. More specifically, such restrictions on states and the other actors they support, such as UNRWA, impede their ability to perform activities benefiting the Palestinian people. As a result, they constitute an unlawful interference by Israel in these states' ability to discharge that special legal duty owed to the Palestinian people. In sum, the consequence of the court's finding in the 2024 advisory opinion that Israel's presence in the OPT is, in and of itself, illegal, is as follows. Israel must end its presence. It has no legal right to take any action there restricting the entry, presence and activities of states and international organizations, including UNRWA. Any such action is illegal. This is because it's part of a presence breaching the right of self-determination of the Palestinian people and the jus ad bellum. Also, and in consequence, it violates Israel's obligation not to interfere in the sovereign freedom of action of the states concerned. And, in particular, it violates Israel's obligation not to impede their action of solidarity, whether performed directly or through support given to other actors, discharging the special legal duty owed to the Palestinian people. Mr. President, distinguished members of the court, the peoples of the world are shocked at the continued failure of the international community to end the colonial subjugation and genocide of the Palestinian people. They ask, what is the use of international law? Bolivia is here as one of the states seeking to answer this call, based on the court's determination that states must act and not be bystanders. We respectfully request that the court safeguard states' ability to discharge their special legal duty to act by affirming Israel's obligations not to interfere in this. Mr. President, this concludes my presentation and the submissions of Bolivia. We thank you for your kind attention.
We have decided to bring videos on something nobody talks about: African politics, economy, and increasing power. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.
Tell us what you think in the comment section. Like and share the video, and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our African videos. It's the best way to support us.
Welkom in het grootste online casino van Nederland. Bij Unibet geniet je van de beste livespellen met Nederlandse dealers. Hier vind je jouw favoriete klassieke fruitautomaten in een nieuw online jasje. Ook voor de nieuwste spellen kun je bij Unibet terecht, want we voegen elke dag spannende slots toe. Ook beschikbaar via de app. Zet €25 in en krijg €50 aan free chips of free spins. Unibet.
He spent 16 years in prison after being wrongly convicted of rape. His accuser, a best-selling author, is now apologizing, saying she's truly sorry. But how do you undo such a life-altering mistake? Here's Les Trent.
Tears of joy as a man wrongly accused of rape is exonerated after spending 16 years in prison. Anthony Broadwater, now 61 years old, broke down in tears when he heard the judge throw out the conviction.
Broadwater cannot get those 16 years back.
His accuser was Alice Sebold, author of The Lovely Bones, which was made into a major movie starring Mark Wahlberg.
It's gonna be okay. My dad knows I'm here.
Her rape at age 18 took place when she was a college student in upstate New York, years before she became famous. Sebold says it happened here in this 76-acre park overlooking Syracuse University where she was a freshman. Months went by and there was no arrest. Then, one day, Alice Sebold was walking down this street and she says she came face to face with the man who attacked her. It was Anthony Broadwater. He was found guilty after Sebold took the stand and identified him as her rapist.
The people that knew me and know my character, they know that wasn't me.
Doubts about his guilt were raised when movie producer Timothy Mucciante started investigating the story as he prepared to make a movie based on Sebold's memoir about the rape called Lucky.
Anyone who reads the transcript of the trial and compares it to her book, there's quite a lot that's omitted that a reader would look at and say, you know, this doesn't add up, just like
Now 58 years old, had nothing to say as she walked her dog in San Francisco where she lives.
Anything to say to Anthony Broadwater?
But on Tuesday, she issued a public apology to Broadwater in which she acknowledged he had been wrongly accused. I am sorry most of all for the fact that the life you could have led was unjustly robbed from you. And I know that no apology can change what happened to you and never will. What do you think of that apology?
If it's sincerely from my heart, I can accept it.
The publisher of Lucky says it has ceased publication until they decide if the book can be properly revised.
Leef met de kracht van de natuur. Holland en Barrett. Verrijk je skincare routine met de kracht van de natuur. Met de tuin- en zonnebrand met natuurlijke UV-filters. Nu 1+1 gratis bij Holland en Barrett.
So Conor McGregor has shared some more controversial footage highlighting the immigration problems that are negatively impacting the people of Ireland. And I've also found this video of a protest in Ireland which Conor McGregor attended. And at the protest, some of the Irish protesters were actually roasting Conor McGregor with this sign here, which says Cokie McGregor for president. Wow.
Nationalism is not racism.
A fair play to every Irish man and Irish woman that's here to stand up for the Irish people. Because look, down the road there, boys, the 1916 boys, the men of Ireland died for the freedom of Ireland.
Okay, so recently on his Twitter account, Conor McGregor has shared another video highlighting the immigration problem in Ireland. Now, this is the video here. As you can see, it's Conor's Twitter account there. Now, this video is about a female business owner in Dublin who was forced to move out of her business because the area that she is doing business in is being overrun by people that are not from Ireland. Now, the tweet itself says, official Ireland constantly virtue signals about how much it cares about women making it. Here is a female business owner shutting her salon as a direct result of the policies efficient Ireland endorses. And the video itself says there's gangs of men hanging around on the street. It's getting increasingly dangerous. Stephanie Simons, owner of Bowie Aesthetics on Dorset Street, says she is shutting her store because the area has become a no-go zone for her staff and clients. Now, recently she actually met with Conor McGregor. Conor showed some support to her with the struggles around her business, and that's why he retweeted this video to shed some light on the situation. So now we're going to watch this video and listen to what Stephanie has to say about the struggles she's facing with regards to the immigration problems in Dublin city centre.
I'm here about 4 years now. First came to the street. Look, it's no secret, it's Dorset Street. It's always been a kind of a dodgy street. But just in the past, I'd say year and a half, it has escalated to a new level. Like, it's gone increasingly dangerous, especially for like my staff, my customers. They're feeling it. My staff are unhappy to work here. And for ages, I was kind of putting my head in the sand. I was like, right, I'll do it. It'll be grand. I'm making money. It's grand, you know. Like, I'll do it up nice and gorgeous inside, and then, you know, trying to excuse what was going on outside. But like, there was a few incidents where like men were coming up to the doors of the salon, scaring the girls inside, and then they had to get their partners to collect them from work. So there was all that going on, and like I let that go on for a while, because still I was like, you know what, it's grand. But then violent incident about 2 weeks ago, right outside the door, there was men came out of nowhere with machetes, with knives, batons, and there was blood everywhere. And my staff witnessed that. And then it was the whole thing of like, they were off work sick for the whole week after with their nerves, and I just thought, like, what next? What is going to be the next thing? Like, escalation from this. Like, for me, my main clientele is women. So like, the women are often coming in up the street with their buggies and all. With the thought, look, this doesn't sit right with me anymore. Like, I'm bringing women into this situation. I'm bringing women into this risk to make a profit, and I couldn't do anymore. I just said, you know what, it's not worth it.
So because of the situation that was going on in the area, Stephanie basically had to pack up and move her business to a different street in Dublin. She had to move away because her customers didn't feel safe because of the situation that was going on in the area. According to her, non-Irish business owners and non-Irish people terrorizing the area, causing trouble, having fights, and basically making the area unsafe for her customers to visit her business. Now, later in this video, Stephanie actually goes on to say that most of the businesses in the city centre of Dublin near her business are non-Irish business owners, and she is the only Irish business owner left in the area. In the city centre of Dublin, the capital city, she is the only Irish business owner in her area, and the rest of the businesses are non-Irish.
As far as I understand, like, they're not Irish, the majority of them are not locals.
Yeah.
And this street, you've kind of found yourself as one of the only Irish businesses left on Dorset Street.
There's me, I think there's another shop just a couple of doors up, and we're the only Irish shops that are here.
For you, like, there is a bit of a culture clash potentially too.
Yeah, 100%, you know. I think there was no kind of like framework put in place before these people were brought in. It was kind of just the total Irish thing. It's grand, we'll figure it out on the way, It's like, it's just like, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. Like, no matter how well you have it inside, bringing women up into that just doesn't sit right with me anymore. And God, elements that, as I said before, or a woman got caught up or got hit with a machete or caught up in that violence, or I dread to think, like, there's laneways where they're all hanging around and it gets dark in the winter. And you have to understand as well, like, these men are coming from cultures where women are thought of totally different to the way we grow up thinking of women in Ireland. And it's no fault of their own. I mean, that's just their culture. It's not our culture. But unfortunately, they're here now, and, you know, like, I'm from the area. I've lived and worked in the area all my life, and like, I'm well used to, like, the robberies. I've been robbed before myself. Like, I'm used to the normal ongoings that come with living in the city centre. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm well used to that. But now it's something totally different, and it's not just like burglaries, or it's actually barbaric behaviour. It's something totally new, and the intimidation that the girls were feeling, like it was just it's a different level to what it was years ago, and I do dread to think what it's going to be like in a few months' time, or in a few years' time, especially like as I said in the article, like the dark winter nights and everything. Like there's gangs of men hanging around on the street everywhere, and like I'm directing my clients. It was getting ridiculous. I was like saying to my clients, when you're walking across this side of the street, put your jacket, your bag inside your jacket, close your jacket up, walk this side. Avoid that group of men there. There's another group of men there. Walk that way. And they were like, oh, well, I just take a taxi to this part to get to like 2 minutes down the road. And I was like, this is actually getting ridiculous. So it just got to the point where I'm just like, here, what am I actually doing this for, really? Yeah, and I've worked so hard to get this. I done it all on my own. Like I didn't get any like government funding or grants or anything like that to help me. And it's just it's a bit disheartening, and I think it's a little bit disgraceful, really, that this is what it's come to.
So yeah, just listening to what Stephanie had to say there, I kind of can relate to it, because this is pretty much the case in every single city around the world in Europe, particularly in the UK, in France, in Italy, in Spain. If you go to the city centres of those countries, there is always migrants in the city centre, alcoholics, drug addicts, drug dealers, all types of crazy characters in the city centre. That's just how it is in all different countries. And yeah, it's a shame, and it's a shame that, an Irish business owner has been forced out and she has to move somewhere else because of problems that are being caused primarily by migrants in the area. Now, I came across this video, which is an Irish protesting against the immigration policies in Ireland. And in this is a very strong video. If you're easily offended, I advise you to switch off now, because you're not going to like this. But this video, there's a lot of like Irish nationalists in this video, and basically people that want to maintain the culture of Ireland, and they're not happy with the immigration policies in Ireland.
By migration, and we're here to put an end to this. It's absolutely disgraceful. Europe is getting destroyed. Every country in Europe is destroyed. Sweden, Belgium, Germany, everywhere. Terrorist attacks. The Irish people can't get homes, they can't get hospital beds. This has to come to an end.
They're looking after migrants instead of their Irish. It's disgusting.
Today is a big day for Irish people, Irish nationalists. We're let's get it out there. Nationalism is not racism.
A fair play to every Irish man and Irish woman that's here to stand up for the Irish people. Because look, down the road there, boys, the 1916 boys, the men of Ireland died for the freedom of Ireland. And we're here today, boys, walking their footsteps to bring Ireland back to the way it is, man. Because we're losing our culture, our history.
This is not about immigrants, it's not about races. 100%. It's about the Irish national people fighting against the government.
Coolock is a neighbourhood in Dublin.
So as he said there, it's not about immigration, it's about what the government are doing to the Irish people, and that is what they are protesting against. They're protesting against the immigration policies that the Irish government have brought in. They're not necessarily protesting against immigrants that are coming in.
Irish national people fighting against the government.
Coolock is a neighbourhood in Dublin where they plan to put in at least 500 migrant men in a former paint factory right in the middle of the community.
Exclusief in ons sportsboek, Big Win City. De allereerste sportsboek jackpot van Nederland.
And the locals, tried to shut it down, so the government put up those large concrete blocks. I visited there many times. I thought there was no chance the people would win, but the people won. How did you do it?
People power. Truth and stay united.
Why? Why are they?
Good, because there's certain things here, a lot of people here would know why.
Approximately 10,000 Irish marching through the heart of...
That is crazy. Look how many people have turned out for this protest, and this just goes to show, guys, what the Irish people are actually feeling, and they're not happy with this situation, and this shit is boiling over. This is why Conor McGregor's so passionate about it, because it is a big thing in Ireland. I didn't realise how big it was until I actually saw this drone shot. How many people actually turned up. You see it on social media, you see it on Instagram, you see it on TV, etc. sometimes. But you don't actually see shots like this where you actually see how many people are filling the streets. Okay, so we just want to skip forward to this section of the video here. This is a group of people protesting. As you can see here, there's an actual sign of an Irish person actually roasting Conor McGregor calling him Koki McRaper for president, basically saying they want Conor McGregor as president.
The protesters from the Antifa, Lincoln said there won't be any Irish flags amongst the counter-protesters.
See some of the signs here. It says you don't get to be Irish and racist, far right off our streets. Another one says Koki McRaper for president. Another one says Dublin stands against racism.
See a single Irish flag there. Oh, I see one. I see a single Irish flag. They say
okay, to the Irish people that are supporting the migrants and refugees coming in. One of the signs says Jesus was a refugee, and then some more signs say Dublin stands against racism. So these are basically supporting the migrants and refugees coming into the country.
In fact, he was not. He was going to take a government census. That's why he was. Oh, wouldn't you know it?
One thing this video does show is that people are sick to death of what is going on in Ireland, and they want to protect their culture. And this is more than migration. This is the Irish people battling against their own government. But anyway, give me your thoughts in the comments, guys, what you think about this whole situation. In particular, the Irish lady being forced out of her business because of the things that are happening in the city centre of Dublin. And yeah, it's a mad situation. She's an Irish lady that set up her business. She's been forced out because of crazy things that are going on in the city, attacks with weapons and stuff like that. But give me your thoughts in the comments, guys, and let me know what you think about this situation.
Dimanta keelpastilles verzorgen de keel en verfrissen de adem. Nu in jouw winkel.
Alright, so this is a suggestion via a channel member. The name of the video is The Most Dangerous Places in the World. This is coming from the channel Spotlight. Let's check it out. Let's jump into it. Feels super ominous.
There are many beautiful places on our planet that everyone dreams of, but there are also places that can kill you if you treat them disrespectful. And today, you will see 10 of the most dangerous places on the earth.
Like naturally
Number 1, Death Valley, USA.
Okay, this is definitely heat-oriented.
This stunning desert holds the record for the highest temperature ever recorded on our planet. 134 degrees Fahrenheit, 56.7 Celsius. The air temperature during the summer has been as high as 57 degrees Celsius. No matter how tough you are, the blazing sun and searing heat of Death Valley will make you exhausted very quickly. Without water, you can live here for only 14 hours. Also, there are a lot of dangerous animals as well, so never place your hands or feet where you cannot see first. Rattlesnakes, scorpions, or black widow spiders may be sheltered there. The extreme heat of Death Valley has killed people in the past. It will continue to kill those who do not honor this extreme climate. Death Valley does not forgive those who are not careful.
Pass. Pass. Rattlesnakes?
Number 2, the Danakil Desert, Eritrea. The area is located in the Afar region of northeast Ethiopia.
I mean, listen, guys, to be honest, you probably don't want to end up in Eritrea anyway. Just Google.
Near the border with...
Basically, Eritrea is is Africa's North Korea.
Eritrea. The climate here can only be described as cruel, but against all odds, people do live here. The Afar people call it their home. Known as the gateway to hell, the Danakil Depression in Ethiopia is incredibly hot.
Is it hot?
And one of the most alien places on Earth. The hot and dry climate means that few plants or animals can survive there. There are also a lot of salty poison pools that have a great percent of carbon dioxide in them. Because carbon dioxide is heavier than normal air, it sinks to the ground. So when small creatures like birds breathe the area just above the lake, they suffocate.
They don't make it.
Most people would probably consider this terrible place a literal hell on earth, but it still attracts lots of brave adventurers from all around the world. Just keep in mind that visiting the Danakil Desert on your own without an experienced guide is strictly forbidden.
I mean, listen, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, but again, I'm not really interested in encountering a hermit kingdom.
Number 3, Mount Washington, USA. Known as the most dangerous small mountain in the world, 6,288-foot Mount Washington boasts some scary stats. The highest wind velocity ever recorded at any surface weather station, 231 miles per hour, was logged here on April 12, 1934. And 137 fatalities have occurred since 1849. No surprise, most are due to hypothermia, and not only in winter. The summit of Mount Washington holds the world record for the fastest winds on the surface of the Earth. The highest recorded speed here is 203 miles per hour, 327 kilometers per hour. The strong winds, however, are not the only concern in the area. The freezing temperatures that could drop as low as negative 40 degrees and continuous heavy snowfalls make Mount Washington a very dangerous place. Despite the modest height, 6,288 feet, Mount Washington is one of the world's deadliest peaks. The loads that the human body experiences at the top of it can be compared to the ones it would experience on the peak of Mount Everest.
Yeah, guys, don't go here. Why are we going here? Like, is it exclusively for the sole purpose of saying that we've been somewhere and intriguing and interesting, guys? Because if not, like, are you being paid to go here, or because stay away?
Number 4, Sinabung Volcano, Indonesia. This is an active volcano situated on the Indonesian island of Sumatra. Eruptions occur here very frequently, often leaving thousands of people without shelter or livelihood. The nearby towns and villages have been completely covered in lava and ash several times already. In 2010, 2013, 2014, and 2015.
So that should be telling everyone to leave. This is not a weather event, guys. That happens once a year. This is danger.
The latest explosion occurred February 27, 2016. That eruption ejected a deadly cloud of volcanic gas, stone, and ash to a height of 2,500 meters, and no one knows what will happen there tomorrow. There are nearly 130 volcanoes in Indonesia due to the country's geographic position on the so-called
leave the whole country, guys. Go ahead, pack it up.
Ring of Fire, a belt of tectonic plates circling the Pacific Ocean with frequent seismic activities. 3 volcanoes in Indonesia are currently active.
Guys. All right, so looking at this, I want to go ahead and point out that it's absolutely astonishing to see. I'm just going to be honest. Like, generally, some of the things that are the most dangerous things, that's probably why they're going about Washington. Okay, I get it. Some of those dangerous and, like, terrifying things are sometimes the most beautiful things. It's crazy how that happens. Right? It's absolutely insane. This is astonishing to look at. But I definitely would highly suggest you running from this area immediately. Okay? Because if it's happening that often, it should dictate to you that something bad is going to happen. And I mean really bad.
Number 5.
Snake Island. Nope, never go to Snake Island, guys, in Brazil. Do not do that. All right, run away from these places. You're right. This is a really good title for this video here. Most dangerous places in the world. Don't ever go here. Snake Island? You like snakes? Go there. Matter of fact, don't go there. I don't want you. I like you. All right, you're here watching this with me. All right, I don't want you to go. Send the people who aren't watching with us.
Amita Grande, Snake Island, Brazil. Hidden somewhere off the coast of Brazil, this island is widely recognized as the most dangerous place on Earth. The reason for this is quite simple. This place is full of one of the most venomous snakes in the world, Bothrops. The mysterious island is known as Ilha de Queimada Grande, and it is in fact so dangerous to set foot there that Brazil has made it illegal for anyone to visit. The danger on the island comes in the form of the golden lancehead snakes, a species of pit viper, and one of the deadliest serpents in the world. Snake Island is uninhabited, but people used to live there for a short period, up until the late 1920s, when according to legend, the local lighthouse keeper and his family were killed by vipers that slithered in through the windows. Today, the Navy periodically visits the lighthouse for upkeep and makes sure no adventurers are wandering too close to the island.
Okay.
Number 6.
So we can't do anything about getting rid of this. Listen, I understand that it's a natural environment. There are no humans there. What risk do they cause? Right? They're there. Right? They're there. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not a reptile fanatic. Snakes, spiders, ew. All right? Ew. All right? That's all I have to say.
Madidi National Park, Bolivia. Madidi National Park is located in the upper Amazon River basin of northern Bolivia, close to the borders of Peru and Brazil. Due to its status as a protected conservation area, as well as its unique natural topography, Madidi contains a particularly diverse array of plant and animal wildlife, even compared to other parts of the Amazon. At first sight, this place looks very picturesque, but it's actually very dangerous, because it's home to the most poisonous and aggressive fauna in the world. Contact with any of the plants growing in this park can cause severe itching, rash, and dizziness. Any cut or even a small wound can become infected with tropical parasites. Visitors will also get a chance to experience wild animals such as snakes, jaguars, and bears, all of which prey on humans. Wild pigs are among the worst, known to literally tear human visitors apart, leaving them strewn across the park floor in pieces. Number 7. Bikini Atoll, the Marshall Islands.
Bikini Atoll.
The Marshall Islands, located in the boundless Pacific, have long been popular with the followers of the recreation in the exotic places. The archipelago of the Bikini Atoll is considered an incredibly dangerous recreation site. Lost somewhere in the ocean, this island looks like a paradise, doesn't it? But Bikini Atoll was actually home to numerous nuclear testing programs that turned the picturesque island of Bikini into a radioactive wasteland.
Yeah, guys, there's a couple of spots on that island specifically, or on the atoll itself, where there are burial grounds, let's say, of these devices.
Zo, jij hebt ook gewoon vakantie. Pap, jij hebt ook gewoon vakantie, hè? Kijk, hij heeft ook gewoon vakantie, hè?
Lieslot, kun je even mama roepen? Dit kan niet de bedoeling zijn.
Ja, dag. Ik heb ook gewoon vakantie, hè?
Prijsvrij vakanties. Jouw zorgeloze reis voor de beste prijs. Ja, Lieslot, hoe zeg je? Doe even normaal eens. Oh.
That makes any sense here, guys, right?
The inhabitants were forced to abandon their homes.
Look at that
And
cloud.
even today, this remains hazardous for living organisms. The abnormally high level of radiation recorded here can cause cancer. During a certain period, the atoll has experienced more than 65 experiments. After the beginning of the military experiments, the local residents were repeatedly evacuated to the other islands.
Yeah, to my knowledge, you can actually live in the Marshall Islands. I don't know why you would want to do that, but I think you can actually.
Number 8. Elephant Kingdom in Chonburi, Thailand. In Elephant Kingdom, Thailand, at a crocodile farm, the owner leases out a small semi-closed raft space for tourists to come visit, see, and feed crocodiles. The raft is a thin wooden, one balanced on plastic barrels, and has net enclosure halfway around it. The shack has a roof too. The people get inside the enclosure and are given fishing rods to feed the crocs. They use beef or meat pieces attached to the rods and dangle the rods before the crocodiles. The reptiles then jump out of the water to catch the meat and their food. There are tourists who also tease the crocs by dangling the meat in front of them and then pulling it up as the hungry animals reach for it.
Oh, that's fun.
You can imagine if one of the tourists accidentally slips or pushes inside,
Done for.
a wooden boat can break down.
Right. Yeah, guys, I don't really mind this so much. I mean, I do spend a good amount of time, let's say, in the North Florida the North Florida, like, the wilderness, right, that area, specifically, like, east of Daytona. And, yeah, crocodiles alligators are definitely there, okay? So I don't really mind them like that. Just don't bother them. Large sums like that, though, that's enough.
Number 9. Lake Natron, Tanzania. Located in East Africa, the United Republic of Tanzania is home to many natural wonders, among which is the Erie Lake Natron. It got its name due to the mixture of salt and minerals called natron. which are revealed when the water's level decreases. Natron is a compound that occurs naturally, comes from volcanic ash, and mainly consists of sodium bicarbonate and sodium carbonate. Here are some photos of what this place is capable of. No one really knows how these animals die. On theory, expressed by photographer Nick Brandt, is that the reflective nature of the surface of the water is confusing to the birds, who crash into the lake. The extreme sodium bicarbonate content preserved them perfectly, making them look like statues.
Oh. I mean, listen, photographer, over 2 decades, I'm going to point out, these are incredibly morbid images, but they are absolutely astonishing to look at. All right, I just want to point this out. Absolutely astonishing.
Number 10. Bermuda Triangle, North Atlantic. One of the most feared areas in the world, the Bermuda Triangle is a vaguely defined expanse of the Atlantic Ocean, triangulating between Puerto Rico, Florida, and Bermuda. For decades, the area has been associated with a number of allegedly mysterious disappearances that have been credited to everything from magnetic force to aliens. While most of these cases have been explained rationally, some of them remain unexplained. Reports of unexplained occurrences in the region date to the mid-19th century. Some ships were discovered completely abandoned for no apparent reason. Others transmitted no distress signals and were never seen or heard from again. Aircraft have been reported and then vanished, and rescue missions are said to have vanished while flying in the area. However, wreckage has not been found, and some of the theories advanced to explain the repeated mysteries have been fanciful. Although theories of supernatural causes for these disappearances abound, geophysical and environmental factors are most likely responsible.
What does it resemble?
Yeah, guys, like when it comes down to the Bermuda Triangle, I don't really have like too much of a flushed out opinion specifically on it. It's definitely intriguing to realize that all these terrible, super terrible things happen here.
You see?
Definitely is intriguing. Absolutely. Can I give you an explanation? No. Not at all. No.
Space.
I'm not even going to. Let's just move on. All right. Okay. So one that I definitely would suggest people get out of immediately.
I just do this
Indonesia,
in a few seconds.
The volcanic area that is erupting like every single year, guys.
This is how you have to.
Why are we here still? I mean, I get it. Listen, it could be like cultural land.
Draw
Your
stars.
people have been there for like since the beginning of time. I get that, but you're not going to be there much longer. Do you remember Pompeii? I do. I wasn't there, right? But I read about it. Okay, let's not read about this place. Just a thought. All right. But all right, listen. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. Let me know in the comments what I should be checking out next. I'll jump into it.
Hey boys, willen jullie ons een keer...
Is accused of murdering her and shooting a friend she was with at the time. Court records reveal the shootout started after what appeared to be a harmless act. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager spoke to Long's family. Peyton.
Steve, and Ashley Long's family want her to be remembered as a career-oriented woman who had big dreams. Also, she was known as a glowing spirit and a loving friend and a loving daughter. In the immediate days after Ashley's murder, her family took to social media to spread awareness about this case. 2 weeks later, the suspect turned himself in to police. On a sunny Wednesday in downtown Dallas, stickers of 28-year-old Ashley Long are left along Main Street.
Her angel number was 444.
But on April 5th, it was a rainy night.
I'm still like in a fog. I just feel like I'm in a daze every day.
Ashley Long's family speaking for the first time since their daughter was murdered during a
I
night
think I
out in
seen this
Dallas.
yesterday.
Long, a realtor visiting from the Richmond-Rosenberg area southwest of Houston. She and a group of friends left a downtown Dallas bar just after 2 a.m. According to an arrest warrant affidavit, surveillance video captured the shooting off Main Street.
Is it a
Police say a
stray
man
bullet?
Ashley was with reached out and brushed his hand along the passenger side of a passing Mercedes. The passenger of that car, later identified by detectives as 34-year-old Kendrick Finch, exited the Mercedes with a gun in his hand. The affidavit states a man with Ashley reached into her purse and pulled out his gun. That's when police say
This
Finch
was not a
opened
straight
fire,
bullet.
striking both Ashley and the man she was with. That man was able to fire back. Finch then took off. Ashley later died at the hospital. The man who she was with was also shot. He survived.
So I take it they come out the bar. There's the Mercedes going by. So as he's walking into the street and the car's going by, I guess he just swipes it with his hand. Yeah. And the guy driving the car didn't like that. Right. So he gets out the car with his gun. He sees the he has a gun, so he reaches in his girl's purse and grabs her gun.
That I charge my phone.
The only rational thing I heard was from this whole incident, I guess I would say the guy, because the other guy jumped out of the car with his gun. But I don't know what he was thinking when he touched someone else's car. Yeah, because people take things the wrong way. Yeah, just people are nuts. You in downtown Dallas? Yeah. He's probably drunk. Who? The guy that came out the bar. Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, people don't like. I'm not trying to justify what the guy did in the Mercedes, but people are nuts. Touching people's cars like that. Yeah. I mean, I think it's good you bring that up because you can't control other people's actions, but you can control your own. Yeah. You can't control what other people do. Yeah, and a girl died and she didn't even do nothing. Yeah, two idiots. Two idiots. When two idiots meet. Yeah. Got that girl killed.
Ashley's family left shocked when police revealed the details leading up to the shooting, also with a flurry of questions.
One of the first words from the detective was, if she would have been in a place 5 minutes before or 5 minutes after, this would have never happened. It literally was a random act.
It would have never happened if that was not random. Random is like you go up to a total stranger and for no absolute reason, you just pull a gun and shoot and kill him. The guy had a sick reason to pull out his gun, but that wasn't random. Like, I've never done that. Across the street and you touch a car going by? What's the point? I don't know. And the guy who jumped out of his car with his gun, I guess he thought the guy was taunting him. It was a sign of disrespect. Yeah. It's real easy to disrespect a black guy, even if he is light-skinned. Yeah, he's still black.
That's what's so sickening.
According to police, a few hours after the shooting, Finch called officers and told them he was the passenger in the Mercedes. It wasn't
He was the passenger in the Mercedes. He wasn't even driving the Mercedes. So it sounds like he told the driver in his car. Two guys with no impulse control.
Till April 18th, when Finch turned himself in after Dallas police put a call out to the public on social media. Video of the moment was captured by Smash the Topic.
He probably thought his car was keyed. Yeah, he probably thought he was keying his car. Think about a car going by and then a guy just rubs inside of the car. Why would he do that? Just to touch it? Or is he keying my car? So he probably thought he was keying my car. And the girl said, hey man, go handle that for me. Yeah. He was keying my car. Two Neanderthals driving a Mercedes.
Ashley's family used this photo on social media to spread awareness and ensure the suspect was caught. A mission that's only beginning as they navigate life without Ashley.
I can't even text her because I text her every night. You know, good night, love you, and it's gone.
You've got Mother's Day, you've got Father's Day. We don't get to have that now.
Het prikt. Voelt goed. Gun jezelf het plezier van de enige echte spaarrood.
Lynch does have a criminal history, including drug charges and burglary. He remains in the Dallas County Jail this evening. His bond, $500,000.
Of course he's got a criminal record. Why would he have a pawn of $500,000? Did you say 500,000? Yeah, 500,000. Shouldn't it be no bail? It's Dallas County. That's a woke city. He probably should be locked up for something else he did in the past, but they gave him just a slap on the wrist. Wrist, not risk. Put a K on it. It's that black tongue I got. Why was he given bond for murder? What the F is going on? We must speak out about this and demand accountability. This is murder, need the death penalty. Yeah, he should fry for that. Another Texas city that's gone to hell. Anyone watching the downfall of that city can easily see who is causing this. Who could it be? Ladies, nice guys might be boring, but you'll be compensated with greater life expectancy. There is always a trade-off. Yeah, they said the guy that touched his car, the guy was probably taunting him. Probably they was crossing the street. They said they was crossing the street, right? Yeah, maybe he probably came up too fast, and he took that time, and then as he went by, he touched his car. Yeah. It's got to be more to the story, because it doesn't sound rational. Somebody's jumping out of the car and shooting you. Yeah, maybe the car was coming, and they was expecting the car to stop, but the car kept going, so he... You know what I'm saying? It's probably, I got a crosswalk, you need to stop. So, and so he touches his car to let him know you're an a-hole or whatever. Yeah. No reason to touch the Mercedes, no reason to get out of the car with a gun over it. Right. I think everyone in Dallas needs to be required to take classes on how to de-escalate conflicts. They clearly need it. Yeah, I want to see the replies to that. I think it should be a normal thing to have a class kids grow up taking, just like math and science, etc., and learn how to deal with emotions. Too many people don't know how to handle their emotions and take lives instead of ignoring and moving on. Yeah, because this nobody had to lose their life over this. He just brushed up against it. But that's probably all he did. But how did the guy in the car take it? Oh, he keyed my car. Oh, he disrespected me. You gotta look at it from the crazy person that's in the car. To a rational human being, you wouldn't think they would get out the car and do that. But to a rational human being, you wouldn't think a guy's gonna swipe my car as I go by. Right. It's like, just man being... That's crazy, man. Lose your life over something like that. And the people that caused the incident, they survive. Yeah, that's how it always... The lady that's the innocent bystander, she just... That is nuts. Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, every time there's a DUI, someone loses their life, the driver almost every time walks away with no scratch. Yeah. That's crazy. But I put most of the onus on the guy that jumped out of his car with the gun. Of course. That goes without saying. But come on, Kevin, you a dude. He's probably a white guy. Just with her, I would think. She's probably with her boyfriend. Why are you gonna touch a black man's car? You asking for it. Because black people have a natural hostility to white people. Yeah. And then you do that, even if you're not did any damage to the car, you're just antagonizing a primal beast. Yeah, exactly. The way I look at it. Because I've been in these inner cities. A lot of these people in the inner cities, these people are like, not all there. Yeah. It's kind of like that Carmelo Anthony thing. Yeah. Black people never expect to lose your life at a track meet. Yeah, black people have a natural hostility towards white people, and it's like... Yeah. This sounds crazy, but I can see this coming from a mile away. I grew up around it. Yeah, it's like, doesn't shock me that this happened at all. Yeah.
Too biased.
Weer even te veel gekocht? Verkoop het zonder verkoopkosten. Download
Elke dag.
Dus deze pepperoni.
Elke dag.
En ook de margarita en de fungi?
Ja, elke dag.
Dus ook op woensdag.
We actually got a normal couple of LeBron. Let's check the comments though. Oh, yes, bro, blow it all over me. Kiss my phone so bad.
What's going on, Clicks?
What? What up?
What up?
It's your boy Ross.
We in the clutch, baby.
Hey!
Back. So you ladies and gentlemen of the vigilante, you feel me?
Alright, well, we just seen the Lakers get bounced out the playoffs.
Bye. Lakers in 5.
First,
Lakers in 6.
First class
Lakers in 4.
flight to Cancun. You know what I'm saying?
Lakers is bad.
Shout out to Minnesota getting a job.
Lakers is
We're not
good.
laughing too soon because you know.
Yeah, we may actually be on our first flight, our first class flight
As
to
we're
Cancun
recording, the day of
as we're
recording.
recording. Yeah. So we're gonna see what the Rockets can do in Game 6 against Golden State. Keep our fingers crossed on that one. But in the spirit of LeBron and the Lakers getting bounced out, we're gonna check out a clip. The LeBron meat riding epidemic.
The league glaze.
Now, I don't know if you've been seeing this. I've been seeing this for like a few months now. There are people out there. I don't know if they're serious or they're trolling, but there are legitimate people out there that have
They are
actual
serious.
songs talking about their love for LeBron James and how he's the GOAT. I'm not making this up. I've actually heard a few of them. I was dying because boys are really professing.
Oh, they are serious.
You know, some people.
What's up,
Too far. So
Satoru Gojo?
we're gonna check this out. It only makes sense to check
How you doing,
this out,
Satoru Gojo?
see how this all plays out.
This sounds absolutely about right there.
Yeah.
You know some people. I don't say no name.
I don't know. He ain't making no songs, though.
Make songs.
But I don't know if he making.
All good, yeah, man.
The greatest all-time song. You know what? I don't know what's on this computer. And maybe
All
I don't,
good
so we're gonna
over
check
here.
this out. Should be a good one, man. Remember.
Thanks for the sub, man. Mucho appreciated.
My sweetheart, just put it in me already.
Hey, yo!
It's a genuinely weird way to start the video. I promise I'm not a weirdo, bro. Sometimes you just gotta spice up that intro. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, you know, that intro was not too far off from the type of shit I've been seeing on Instagram Reels and TikTok this past year. Like, let me show you an example real quick. Would you rather give LeBron back shots or take less shots in the back?
Brother.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on here, bro. What kind of? Where did you find this, bro? Like,
Look at the comment.
He said, yo, bro. Quick question. Yeah, what's the question? What's up, Rocky? I'm watching In the Clutch, just like always.
I want to know how all 35,000 felt when this nigga got bounced out the playoff.
What if I do? I'll never tell you.
it's
Only
starting to-
20.
I don't know if I could do it, bro. That's kind of wild.
A king doesn't bow his head to know what I'm taking. That's an impressive level of thinking. Like, this shit genuinely blows my mind, bro. How can, like, wow. I mean, but it's all in the name of fun, right? You know, like, it's a joke. Okay? Shit, sometimes I can't even tell anymore. Like, let me show you some on Instagram real quick, because I saved a couple of these. All right, we're on
Do
my
you
account.
have a girlfriend?
What the fuck is this? This is supposed to be my racist account. Why would you follow me on here? Okay, you know what? Let's just go over to my save. All right, here we are to my LeBron Goose.
Yeah, if you have, you're being detained.
As soon as I saw LeBron's sexy
Okay.
face, I saved it and kept scrolling. I am familiar with this one, though. Would you rather be financially stable for the rest of your life or shake LeBron's hand? Of course, is the green grass? Wait, is the green grass?
Is the green grass?
7 years in life, but only one moment to shake the king's hand. LeBron over my family?
Y'all blazing too much, man.
Free LeBron, free big swipe. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I did fall for this originally. Alright, we actually got a normal clip of LeBron. Let's check the comments down. Oh, yes, Bron, blow it all over me. Kiss my phone so fast. I'm so wacky. This dude just said it gave a 2K guys fucking. Serve the James family long enough and the king himself decides to knight you. Dick to head, dick to crack later. How do y'all come up with this? Damn. Somebody's hacking my account, I think. Me and bro pretending to be... I can't even read this out loud, bro.
Me and bro pretending to be the Lakers. Bro, what is this? To try to get a taste of LeBron.
Are you alright? You say, oh my damn God. What's going on? What happened? Yo, they're doing too.
These are actual people.
I look too grown for this, bro. What are we doing?
They're doing too much.
Even if you're just doing this as a joke, as a troll.
Invisible. Hold on, let me fix your
Huh?
I said, you invisible right now. Hold on.
Oh, for even can they see me now?
Yeah, they see you.
All right. Even if you're doing this as a joke or a troll, at what point do you stop At what point do you be like, all right, this is kind of even wild for me to be creative? Because somebody has to actively put these clips and stuff on their social medias.
Well, people are glazing on what's going on. You know, I'm watching a video of for people doing too much with LeBron. It's just I don't know. They're putting memes or videos, shorts, and it's all. I guess that they're showing love.
Clay, T-Mac, Kobe, rest in peace.
It's just too sussy, you know. It's just too much.
Ever had the thoughts of some of what you guys have for your favorite basketball player, bro? Like,
I mean, I get it. That, you know, they say it says stroke LeBron ferocious. Oh my goodness, bro.
I can't be talking. I'm unemployed too. The ideal sleep experience,
bro.
Oh,
hey,
LeBron.
Bro.
This is so.
From this point of view, it looks like LeBron has me in my share. You know what I'm saying? Every time you share this video, you get a kiss from LeBron.
Bro, these are. Bro, do you see how many? Don't share this shit with me.
76K.
I don't know what's going on.
76K likes. Just because.
To see who we are now.
Most of these are men, bro.
Yeah,
yeah, I bet so. Yeah.
450.
450 shared. That is fine.
Yeah. I'm gonna just look at you, bro. Man, come on, bro. It was a funny joke.
Sounds more shares than likes. Yo, that's a what? I mean, the king deserves it though. The king deserves all the love. All right, so I'm about to doom scroll through my roast for a minute. I'm gonna see if I can find any LeBron blazing videos in the wild. I cannot stop jacking my dick. I cannot stop jacking my dick. All right, first reel. What the fuck are you doing, bro? Nothing much. Just staring at the love of my life. Me? Oh, yo, LeBron. Yo, I did the same exact shit in the intro. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Now that I'm looking at another person do it, it's kind of weird. Me watching my son shoot a family of 4 and beats look. What the fuck is going on through your mind? I don't want to come up with a sentence like this. Put it on a meme.
Alright, bro. I think we lasted 3 minutes. If y'all want to check out the whole video,
even that sound wild. Yeah.
That sound wild. I didn't know boys was taking this to that extreme. I'm thinking it's just gonna be a funny little.
Yeah, it's not funny. It's not funny, man.
Making which sometimes be getting kind of wild themselves. The niggas have made song, bro.
The difference. This different part of the.
So wow, you know what's funny? This just popped up in the recommended feed after these niggas lost.
You're
recommended. Niggas started searching up LeBron.
The meat riding epidemic.
My goodness.
First thing that popped up. But yeah, man, hey, y'all want to go watch this video for yourself? Feel free, man. Be my guest. Go do what you got to do, man. It's on you. Not gonna knock you. Won't judge you. A little bit, but won't. So
we couldn't finish the video.
Yeah, bro. All right, I clocked.
Oh my god. That's how you know it's bad. Look, man, it's okay to be a fan of people, but at some point,
that's OD, bro.
You gotta chill. Even as a joke, you gotta chill, guys. Step outside, enjoy the fresh air, enjoy the wonders of this world. There's more to basketball in the NBA than LeBron James.
Hey, stop it.
Get some help. That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
get some help. Get some help.
Like, fam, stop it. Get you some help.
Shit.
But yeah, man, hey, love y'all. Continue to spread love, be love, not too much. It's kind of wild.
The glaze is too much, man. It's too much.
Peace out, man.
If you got a problem, then we got the solutions. And there's no.
Them glazing, they go beyond me. I don't understand.
Weet je wat jij nodig hebt? Stijn van Albert Heijn. Stijn? Kijk, je vraagt hem bijvoorbeeld gezond en snel klaar.
Met Stijn van Albert Heijn heb je altijd antwoord op de vraag: wat eten we vandaag?
I don't know we eat today. We step in.
Let's have some fun, shall we, folks? You all remember Patrick Bet-David. He is that multi-millionaire business consultant, former owner of... It was an insurance company. It was really sort of like a membership program where you could join up to be one of the... you could pay a fee to be one of their insurance salespeople. And apparently, like... if you were top tier, you could make some cash. If you were not top tier, you would probably spend some cash.
Up top of the pyramid tier.
Top tier, and then you recruit some other people beneath you.
I want to be absolutely clear: a totally legal enterprise.
Yeah.
Wealth seems to flow up. Anyways,
In which salespeople pay the company that's supposedly employing them?
I
buy insurance from us.
I don't know if they were employing them. They were more like part of the gang, and part of the schematics of the gang, I guess you could say. And here he is. He's invited Andrew Callahan from, what is that channel? What was the channel?
All Gas, No Breaks, Channel 5.
He's Channel 5 now.
Now, right, yeah.
And they've been doing, his channel's been doing some really good, like, on-the-ground work. Like, I think a few months ago they were down at the border. He tried to cross the Rio Grande himself, so check out Channel 5. I think he's doing really good work over there.
California's been trying to do it. Well, the thing is, they talk about Gavin Newsom and homelessness.
Right, that's the thing, is everyone sees Gavin Newsom as like an enabler for all these destructive democratic policies, but he still makes concessions to conservatives who are like bullying him into not carrying it out. For example, let's take the Tenderloin in San Francisco. It's still the biggest open-air drug zone in the city. It's been that way for decades. He, obviously, during the Biden administration and when Newsom was in control, he still is, it was a crazy scene out there. There was people smoking fentanyl in the streets, people defecating and sleeping in the streets of San Francisco. Yeah, in this particular area.
Is there a clip you want him to show?
No, I think we can just overlay it or something. But I mean, in general, Governor Newsom was being kind of like shit on for letting that happen. But the reality is, and people on the ground know this, there was supposed to be a safe injection site that was 2 blocks long or 2 blocks wide that was supposed to be maintained by the state and the city. So it made it so people wouldn't be able to use heroin, fentanyl, and meth on the streets. They would have to go to a controlled environment where the public and children and people who were living in that community wouldn't have to interact with them, and they could have the access to the services they need. At the last minute, Governor Newsom didn't build it because he was too scared of getting another media smear campaign and being made to seem like someone who lets people do drugs in the open, but he still does drugs in the open. So with the Democratic establishment in California, there's a lot of hypocrisy, and there's a lot of not much transparency as far as what's happening with all these taxes that are being taken away from people who worked hard to make that money. We do know that $1 trillion of wealth have left California in the past 4 years. We do know that cities like San Francisco and LA that are still generating a ton of money, much of that money isn't even being pumped back into the city because so many workers have gone remote. There's a lot of people working in California that decide not to live there because they can do their work for tech companies remotely elsewhere and want to stay in Montana.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think that
I'll just say Montanans don't appreciate all the people doing that from the West Coast, but go ahead, bro.
When you look at progressive policies and you look at poverty, and it's not changing, and then you look at the tax rate going up and down, it can be easy to say, you know what, nothing's ever going to change. And that's why there's so much like a sense of apathy and nihilism when it comes to the billionaire thing. That's why people are saying, oh, billionaires are the worst, kill them all, like on the internet, because they've seen nothing change, and they're seeing, okay, the cost of living is high, there's homeless people everywhere, there's so much poverty, yet there's this class of people who are unaffected by it. So the question is then, if we don't raise the taxes, what can be done to change that situation on the ground?
No, I think a really good case there by Callahan. Let's see the wisdom we get from Patrick Bet-David.
No, I mean the situation with inequality and poverty.
Yeah, but that's not how it works, though, because to me, here's how it works. Okay, let's just say you got 3 sons, and they're all 25 years old, okay? And you're...
Pause it for 1 second. Now, I just... communist. But here's the thing. Okay, well, I guess you could have triplets. That's how they would all be 25 years old. But he's going to pivot off. And one of the things I noticed that Patrick Bet-David did, and I don't know if the other four Stooges are there in studio, but when they actually have to address something that's real, they immediately turn it to some type of like aphorism.
Hypothetical.
Salesman type of
Yes.
feel.
Let's say you had
Kim told us
triplets
the same
and they're
thing.
all 25 years old. Go ahead.
But that's a hallmark of conservative media. You'll see it all the time. People bring in facts and figures.
Marvel movies.
And reality, Marvel movies. Like, what if we saw it this way? What if it was this way?
You're making a case for universal health care, but have you ever thought about what's the guy that compared to Sam? I'm blanking. What's it Marvel guy?
Thanos.
Thanos, yeah.
Right.
That situation on the ground.
Taxes.
No, I mean the situation with inequality and poverty.
Yeah, but that's not how it works, though, because to me, here's how it works. Okay, let's just say you got 3 sons, and they're all 25 years old, okay? And you're 60 years old at this time. Could you be, 60, 25, 60, let's just say you're 65 years old, you got 3 sons, 25, 26, 27.
Yeah, triplets when you're 35.
Oh, wait, they're not triplets. They're not triplets. They're like, you know.
Okay, gotcha.
But completely forget what you said. That's the whole point of this. Did I show you the hats I have here behind me? That's okay.
Geography plays in the analogy here.
Okay, let's just say that all three sons had hats. They all have 3 different hats. You can purchase. Very good.
Okay, and you're 60 years old at this time. Could you be, 60, 25, 60, let's just say you're 65 years old, you got 3 sons.
Well, I'm positive.
25,
Put it on the
26.
screen, the image. No, it's okay.
27. They're all out of college. You give each of them $100,000. First one to give $100,000, he goes to Singapore. He parties, he comes back, has a lot of stories. Says, Dad, I tried an opportunity. I met with this businessman in Singapore. It didn't work out. I need another $250,000. I'm up to something big. Second son comes up and give him $100,000. He takes $100,000, go buys a small condo, gets a nice little job, makes $120,000 a year, doesn't need any money from you anymore. He's doing okay. He's happy. He's got a girlfriend. They're pretty serious. Third one, he gives $100,000, takes $100,000, starts a little real estate shop, turns into $3.2 million. Okay, 2 years later. Now they're all 2 years older. The first son, he gave $100,000, went to Singapore, comes back, says he wants a quarter. The second one wants a quarter. Which of those 3 are you more comfortable giving more money to, knowing you're going to get a rate of return on your money? The first, the second, or the third?
Probably the first, right?
Right, the first? The guy that went to Singapore?
Oh, no, not that guy. My bad. I kind of...
As a stable guy, considers
second
a
guy.
job.
Number 2.
Or the third one that starts a business and makes the money grow for you.
I mean, probably the three, because it would be a bigger investment. But I mean, aside from a business standpoint, like if we obviously, you recognize that there's a big problem with homelessness, poverty, and unaffordability.
I'm asking you, you're in the streets, why do you think that is?
I mean, I would just assume that because the social safety net is so small here and there's such little being provided for people in terms of mental health services, the broken Veterans Administration, so many different things, unaffordability, like there's just not enough resources to set up to help people who are at rock bottom here.
Do you think we haven't given enough money? So to me, when you ask the question, if we don't raise the taxes, then how are we going to fix this? To me, the question becomes, the last 30 times we agreed to give you more money, you wasted it. Why should we trust you to give you more money? Because if I give money to Amazon, if I give money in a company like NVIDIA, if I give money to Tesla, if I give money to Ford or Disney, and I buy the stock and I'm like a believer, here's what's going to be happening. I kind of can track publicly. There's accountability, there's accounting, there's quarterly earnings, there's calls to get on.
Okay, pause it for a second. This is such unbelievable. But this is so rudimentary that but the relationship between a citizen of a country or a society and an investor in a company is very different. That company is not responsible for the fact that the lights turn on, the roads will drive you to that studio, that it's on an airfield. The FAA, or at least theoretically, used to do that. I mean, all of this is such. You could actually go back to the Three Sons example.
Wait. A lot of facts and figures, but let me just look at it a different way. If you have a plane that leaves St. Louis at 12:05 p.m. Why can we
Exactly. Is there more to this that's worth watching?
Oh, there's about an hour and a half left.
Oh, great.
You answer the question.
I love it when he's like, which I'll pick one, number one. Okay, number two. Okay, fine, number three. But you know, there's a problem with homelessness.
The homeless people should have never gone to Singapore. That's.
I also. The example is you give your kids $100,000 each. Okay, I mean.
Sons.
Your three sons, $100,000. Want to see how they're doing with your money. Before I was going out, I was like looking up stuff. You can find a picture of his house apparently on I don't know, the Sky, because it's like a massive sprawling complex.
Why be Goliath when you can bet David?
Oh,
track publicly. There's accountability. There's accounting. There's quarterly earning. There's calls to get on. If I give more money to the government, what is the quarterly earnings?
Yeah.
What is the accountability?
Because they're looking at this in a business standpoint instead of just.
Why don't we give money to a company or a business that I don't get to see what you do with my money? There's no tracking to it.
I agree. I do think that, like, we can both agree that, like, you know, throwing money at things doesn't always fix the problem. But you've been around for longer than me. Like, if it's not that, if it's not funding programs to provide for people who are down and out, like, what do we do? Because the problem is already here. Like, it's not in theory. Like, there's 100,000 people who are homeless in LA alone and San Francisco combined. So it's like, what do we do? What's the solution? Do you have any, like, wisdom as to what you think would happen?
Do you think long term you live in LA? You said earlier you're considering leaving, right?
Well, that's the thing, as I love the landscape and the people of California so much. Where I live now, I'm an hour and a half from the beach, hour and a half from the mall. To Vegas or Tijuana, and get to the Bay. In Florida, kind of just in Florida.
Weer eentje te veel gekocht? Op Vinted verdien je met wat je niet meer nodig hebt.
So would you see yourself living there long term? Because we're going to document this, because we're going to come back when you come to Florida.
Okay.
Oh my God, you didn't answer the question! I mean,
wow.
Understand, the show is a lost leader for his business consulting company. And so at the end of the day, he doesn't have to, this is not for people who are really terribly interested in any type of policy solutions. This is a total vibes show.
But how do you watch that, even as a fan of his? I mean, especially after if you've seen Sam's appearance, and not see how he's changing the subject after he had, like, this happened with the thing with the Social Security numbers, with your interview.
This is why they branch out and don't have like political people on as much as they used to. I think at one point they realized, like, it's better. They had that actor The Day After Me who
Terrence Howard.
Yeah, who set up
he's become like a conspiracy theorist.
Oh my God, yes, he also developed a new physics apparently. So
I think the other day. On that.
Incidentally,
you wouldn't. I don't think that's.
Incidentally, you don't have to cut your lips off to cut a.
It's an old wives' tale.
Exactly. And apparently they didn't bring in the. I wonder if, like, I wonder how they decide not to bring in the rest of the crew. I wonder if they just did that for my sake when I was there. I take that as a compliment.
Yeah. That's the other thing about this.
They should bring in like 2 other people next time I go down there. I would like it to be 6 of them.
This was kind of like your appearance with Tim Pool, where Patrick was kind of taken aback by the sort of agreeableness of Andrew and was unable to sort of turn it into the sort of adversarial approach that maybe you'd expect.
Maybe it's good financial advice, though, is if you're struggling, you have 3 sons, and then you just have to invest wisely in those sons and have, meetings and check in with them.
I like the one that went to Singapore that came back
The
with...
whole model in terms of cash.
That's what parenting's all about.
That's not what the book. Like, fundamentally, the purpose of government is not for you to make money. The purpose of government is to serve as many people as possible within your society. It is not a for-profit business. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily...
Yeah, there you have it. There you have it. Wait. Lucy Mitchell, business owner, says, what does she say? Gen Z's careers apocalypse is real. You don't pay enough. Oh, shit. That's what she said. There's a lot of crazy shit going on. Let's see.
We've got to get to Blue Origin because it's over the top. It's over the top.
No way.
Voelt goed? Gun jezelf het plezier van de enige echte spaarrood.
The other one. Also, don't worry, I am not wearing a full suit. Can someone tell me what's up with the Gen Z job market today? Oh, I am that someone. Okay, this is what's up with the Gen Z job market today. Gen Z cannot find jobs. The unemployment rate for Gen Z is almost twice the national average. Everyone says that there are more jobs out there than ever. Yet everyone I know who is struggling trying to find a job right now, for the life of them can't even get a call back despite networking, cold emailing, and entering all their information onto company online portals twice. Please enter your information below. Why did you make me give you my resume in the first place? I don't know what the is happening with employers these days, but judging from both the experiences of people online and people in my own life who are struggling through it, we all seem to be sharing the same canon event of trying to jump into boiling water and then being told, oh, you actually don't have enough experience to jump into this boiling water. Now, I know it may be a bit naive for a YouTube commentary creator to be talking about the job market, but I promise you, I very recently had the same struggles as all of you did. And I swear, I'm not out of touch. Yet. Still got about 2 years till that happens. So I actually graduated during the pandemic, and it actually took me 6 months and over 800 job applications to get my first job out of college. And that job was essentially what amounted to data entry. At the time, I thought 800 was an absolutely insane number of applications to go through before actually finding a job. And so to hear that 800 is actually on the low end of what some people are experiencing, I'm just here to answer, what happened to us?
3, they're expecting unreasonable salaries. Like, they think that they go to school for 4 years and come out with a degree, and then they automatically start making 100K.
3 out of 4 managers hate working with Gen Z, and here's why. So bad that 27% of employers have fired the employee within the first month. Article from Where This Comes From states that most Gen Zers lack motivation, effort, and get easily offended.
Statistics. Do you know what % of Gen Z workers claim they experience burnout at work? Not 20%, not 40%, not 80%, not 90%. 98% of you experience burnout.
Okay, so we're having trouble in the job market because employers think we're lazy, we're too entitled, and we're all depressed. All right. Kind of sounds like my cat, who actually just moved in with me. That is the depressed part. He's actually very fat and happy. And so today I'm here to answer a bunch of questions. Questions like, are Gen Z workers actually just worse than other demographics? Or is the bias against Gen Z just an effect of the changing times and culture that we have within the workplace? Are the people criticizing Gen Z just straight up wrong? And is it weird to slot a sponsor part right as I'm about to get into the meat of the video? The answer to the last one is yes. But I have a contract. Okay, cool. What's up?
Just leaving in the middle of the shift without telling anyone, or just saying, well, I'm just never going to show up to work again. I don't like it. On behalf of all of your coworkers, tell somebody. Say, hey, you know what? This isn't working out.
Say on behalf of your
Give a 2
coworkers.
weeks notice. Something. But whatever you do, don't just fucking not show up.
See, I can understand from an employer's point of view why it could be frustrating for an employee to just not show up and quit without a notice. That being said, when you get laid off, does your work give you a 2-week notice? Do they give you any notice at all? And you know what? I think we should be treating terrible jobs like terrible first dates by enforcing boundaries, making sure they've...
Listen, I did an episode covering this exact topic. Loyalty to companies or the system, any institution really, from government to school to work, and the double standards that they employ against everybody. They demand your loyalty. In return, there's no reciprocity at all. They don't give you the 40 years and then a pension at the end. You get fired for any reason they want when it makes sense to their bottom dollar. Institutions like, say, college, for example, same thing. They demand you give them hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in return you get a useless piece of paper with no job because it was most likely either shipped out of the country or an H-1B visa kid took your shit, a foreigner. Okay, great. And then the government, they demand you pledge your loyalty and allegiance to the flag, blah, 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 all this stuff. We're already getting crushed by inflation because they're mismanaging our money. The debt ceiling has been raised. Our debt is ballooning. We're paying trillions of dollars in just interest alone, and our roads are crumbling, our bridges look like shit, there's homeless people everywhere, crime is rising, people can't afford to live in the cities, everything, job, wages, all that stuff is stagnant. People are
Everything
depending
is
more and more on the
just
government
simple.
for hand-me-downs
So
because they
everything is
can't make it out in the private sector anymore, yet they demand your loyalty under those conditions still. So you give everything, or at least half of your shit probably, and you get nothing in return. Oh my god, a hurricane just hit your local community. You're $700. Oh no, your house burned down in Hawaii. You get nothing. Oh no, whatever other tragedy, like your water is like spewing fucking lead in there mixed in and everybody's dying. Oh, we'll fix it eventually in a few years. Oh wait, it's been like 6 years. It's been, oh shit, 10 years. Oh my god, they still haven't fixed it? Wow, that's weird. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, huh? But they demand you keep giving them more and more, while you get less and less in, quote, services governance. It's true. I have it all on the second channel. It was a great episode. I recommend you guys check it out.
Pay their fair share and ghosting the fuck out of them.
all that.
Look, all I'm saying is, at least when someone ghosts me after a date, they don't also take my paycheck, my health insurance, and frankly, a piece of my already dwindling sanity.
For the fourth Gen hired at my job has not shown up. Second we get them done with training, because it takes about a month or two to go and learn all the systems, the computer equipment, the machinery, everything we got at this place. When we finally get them trained up to where they can be on the schedule, they just up and never call anybody again and never show up again.
I think there's this old Chinese proverb that translated into English goes, if someone smells like probably stepped in dog shit. If everyone smells like dog shit, probably check your own shoe. If you have 4 Gen Z workers all suddenly up and leaving, the work conditions at your company,
thank you,
are probably just bad. That means the people who left would literally rather be unhoused than work at your company. I mean, he mentions that the work is backbreaking and that the shifts are 12 hours even on weekends.
So instead of having my normal 12-hour shift day, I'm looking at about a 16, 17-hour shift.
And it's not like it's a bad job.
It's almost as if they weren't transparent at all during the onboarding process. Yeah, this is not what I signed up for. And I think it just goes...
Can you imagine 16-hour shift and you're like defending the company? At least Gen Z has some balls to stand up for themselves and refuse to be whipped like slaves. Working for these companies that, you know, that job doesn't pay you shit if they're gonna ask their employees to do 16 fucking hours. Their retention rate is in the gutter. They can't even keep employees. And they're already breaking the backs of the ones they do have. And it takes dudes like that who are literally cucked in the system because he probably has bills or kids or some unruly wife or God knows what, that he can't even leave that job if he wanted because of his obligations. He's a slave. He's like the perfect corporate cuck. The dude that will never leave. They put 16 hours on your fucking back, bro. You can't say shit, can't do nothing. He just complains about his coworkers leaving because he can't leave. That's really what it is. Or else he would have a long time ago. But oh, the whip is cracking on his back, and he must stay.
Just to show how out of touch a lot of these people
That's wild.
Talking about. The complete lack of self-awareness and self-reflection, which are 2 major areas of improvement for our next guest, not actually a Dr. Phil.
You say right now you just won't hire Gen Z employees.
No, we don't. It's been a nightmare with 95% of the ones that we have hired.
Were you ever fired?
Oh, yes, sir. I've been fired.
Yeah, what for?
Oh, I had not coming to work once. You know, I was in my 20s and fresh out of the military and just kind of decided to do it my own way.
So let me get this straight. You yourself, when you were younger, was literally fired for not showing up to work. And yet you were still given the same opportunities that led you to become a successful businessman. But now that you are a successful businessman, you now actively choose not to give those same opportunities to people who are literally in your position. Why is it that you're allowed to make the same mistakes that younger generations are making, but we aren't? This really seems just more like a young person problem and not a Gen Z problem. Because you for sure know that this guy's bosses were probably saying the same thing. Oh, you don't want to work a 12-hour shift? Back in my day, I didn't complain a single time where I did 14-hour shifts in the coal mines. Oh, you don't want to work in a coal mine for 14 hours? Back in my day, I didn't complain at all when I was pulling 24-hour shifts in the factory at 6. Pretty much. This sucks ass.
Eric, you had one that showed up dressed like Harry Potter posting videos.
They were doing Harry Potter TikToks. Yep, I can't make this up. And then they told me they were working.
Okay, first of all, it's called marketing. Wouldn't expect a mudbug like you to know that. Second of all, at least he showed up to work.
Not coming to work once.
They then, of course, have to hit the old adage of internet bad.
And you've seen it.
Personally, I think it boils down to
respect for Harry Potter, bro. He's hustling. He's working 2 jobs at the same time. If he strikes it rich on the internet, he's golden. He showed up. He was doing his tasks. What does it matter? Listen, if he was customer front-facing, I understand he can't be in a Harry Potter outfit, but if he's in the back doing something, who cares how he's cutting some fucking onions back there? If he could look like a wizard or not. Is he cutting them right? Is he filming himself cutting onions? Okay, great. What if he goes viral? And then more people show up to your business? Who knows? Maybe they want the wizard cut onions. Okay, you gotta adapt with the times, bro. We're in a gig economy. These corporations don't care about you. Why should you care about them? Unless they'll sign you a football player or something, give them nothing. Give them nothing. Give them exactly what they give you. They give you minimum wage, you give them minimum effort. They give you no benefits, you don't fucking show up unless you're scheduled to. It's tit for tat in this world. They need to feel the pain that you're feeling.
To obviously how they're raised, and right now this generation by the internet.
They're raised by the internet? Nope, we're raised by you. It wasn't the internet that packed our lunches or bought us phones or enforced healthy boundaries on screen time. It was you. And considering the fact that the internet is literally 50%, we'd all be gooners by now if that was actually the case.
What do you think kids go to was?
Okay, maybe have a point. At one point, they bring in a Gen Z healthcare worker and have a 4-on-1 team deathmatch with her, which really pissed me off because this is clearly not skill-based matchmaking and was completely unfair. For the full.
Expected to be cross-trained without any bump in pay. I'm expected to cover for people who, quite frankly, they decide when and if they want to come to work. And so, no, I'm not going to overextend myself and bend over backwards for companies who don't take all the little nuances of being an employee of theirs into consideration.
I mean, I'm a serial going above and beyond person because it's what it's gotten me in my life and in my career. And did I always get paid for it? No. But what I am as a person.
Do you know what I value? Paying my bills.
Doing the least, doing the bare minimum does not represent corporate America or corporate women, or certainly black women in corporate America. How would you know if you've never tried to go above and beyond?
I have tried it.
And it's failed you? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, corporate has failed me.
So the problem is there's something called paying your dues.
Again,
here we go.
Instead of making us pay our dues, how about you help me pay my bills? And I think this is a huge reason why Gen Z is so disillusioned with the current job market right now. The current old guard are still arguing for
I love pay your dues. You just gotta get paid shit and struggle, just like I did. And maybe one day we'll give you enough so you could feel somewhat financially secure. Until then, be a slave, like everyone else. Stop demanding more. Unbelievable. Told you, these people are out of touch.
or paying your due before actually getting paid. And unfortunately for us, inflation doesn't really wait for us to pay our dues. It just wants you to pay.